Hello friends, this is Music Man from his man cave, and today we ask the question, should Christians watch horror movies? Yeah. Let's talk about it right now. Well, I work with teenagers, and teenagers come to me all the time, and they just know they've got a horror movie tailor-fit for me. They come up to me and say, oh, you need to see this one, you need to see that one. And had a Christian girl, it's a teenager that goes to a local church here, she came to me and said, you need to see the Rite. It's an awesome movie, you need to see the Rite. And I'm thinking, what's it about? And she told me it's about exorcism. And when I was a small kid, The Exorcist came on TV. And my parents unwisely let me be in the room, and after about probably 10 minutes, I was running from the room and screaming and crying and went to bed and was scared, and I didn't even see the whole movie. I've never seen the entire movie of The Exorcist. I see even trailers of it, and I don't like what I see. I don't like vomiting, and I don't like heads turning, and I don't like girls with scabby faces and hair looking like they've been, never done their hair, and just kind of stuff doesn't appeal to me. But she told me this was really good. It was about a young man finding his faith. So I went around and I just happened to see it. There it was. It's called The Rite with Anthony Hopkins. Now I have to say I really like Anthony Hopkins as an actor. Him and Morgan Freeman, anything that he's in, I can say the only reason I'd even be slightly interested in this movie is Anthony Hopkins. Because he has this just presence on the screen, and him and Morgan Freeman probably are two of my favorites. They're so good at what they do, and when they speak with such clarity and authority. I really like that. So I decided to watch this movie, and I can say that, is the movie horror? Probably for a believer it's horror. But for somebody that doesn't believe in the spirit world, that doesn't believe in Jesus Christ, that doesn't believe in God, that doesn't believe in the devil, this would be more of a comedy and be actually a mockery of Christianity. Because as for me, I do not believe, and I've never seen, I have been with my dad and I've been raised in the church, I have never seen the kind of deformation and weird facial distortions and glowing eyes and scabs and stuff like they depict in these movies. Hollywood does this movie magic stuff that makes it more into a horror kind of science fiction. So this is more like Christian science fiction, if you ask me. I've just never seen it. I've seen people prayed for and delivered from being oppressed and so forth, and things that are supernatural happen. I've seen that, but I've never seen what Hollywood depicts with people being oppressed or possessed by demons. And so I watched The Rite, and I'm actually really captivated by this movie. I'm watching it, and I'm actually intrigued. I'm interested. What's the devil putting out now? What kind of lies and trickery is he putting out now? And I like some of the statements that are made in this movie, like that just because you don't believe in the devil doesn't mean that you're immune to his, getting a hold of you and messing you up. Yeah, we see that. Every day in the world, with overconsumption, with gluttony. You guys watch movies like Seven, and I've never seen it, but kids have told me there's a 7 sins, and this guy makes them go through the 7 sins. So The Rite is about this guy. He's in the Catholic Church, and he doesn't believe. He doesn't believe any of this hooey. So basically, what the movie does is it takes him. It's actually it's drawn out and really shows you him going through a lot of stuff. But it's actually a very short premise. Basically, a guy doesn't believe. He runs into something that's inexplicable and supernatural, and therefore now he believes in God. Now I have a problem with that right there. God has already shown himself in many ways in my life, and just in general revelations, like in the creation of this world, and also in special revelations, like I've said. I've seen the supernatural myself. I've seen things happen. They're inexplicable. And so I've seen people healed. I had a guy in my church who had a tumor in his lung, and we prayed for him, and he went back to the doctor, and the tumor was nowhere to be found. And yeah, he has the CAT scan. It actually happened. And it's inexplicable. Why? My Aunt Judy, who loved the Lord and served him with all her heart, she got breast cancer, and even though everybody laid hands on her and prayed for her, she passed away, and she died and went to be with the Lord. So, the Rite. Then it goes into where a really dark territory where you're dealing with the demonic, and it's Hollywood magic. Then they throw in the Hollywood magic big time. I mean, this has got the Hollywood guns going with the facial distortions and the convulsions and the, upside down crosses and, everything they know about it from reading books or whatever. When they made this movie, they did a little bit of research. And so they make this movie and they try to make it frightening. Well, I didn't find it actually that frightening. I found it more, like I said, intriguing. But first of all, I found it kind of deceitful. First of all, there's some real lies in this movie about, exorcism and the devil. You will never see the devil manifest himself like that. First of all, he's an angel of light. He's a deceiver. He's a trickster. He's not going to do that. He's not going to, someone that doubts him, he's not going to reveal himself to them in that way. That's not the way he works. He's too clever for that. He's too intelligent for that. He's been around a long time. He's not going to do what this movie says he's going to do and treat, Lucifer like he's the stupidest angel. It's just not going to happen. He does it in subtle ways, like casinos and gambling, and he does it in subtle ways, like take one puff of that cigarette, and he does it in subtle ways, and he ensnares, and he does it in subtle ways, like fear, and he oppresses, and he has his tactics, and he's very good at what he does. He's very good at confusing people and making them not believe, and making them question their existence, and if they're special, and if there's a God, or that's his M.O. That's what he does. That's what he's good at. So the whole premise of this movie is silly, that he would manifest himself in some kind of horrid way to make this guy turn and believe there's a God because he first believes there's a devil. If that's the truth, everyone would be saved. Because everybody knows that there's a devil. Everybody knows there's demons. They've experienced it. Through alcoholism and through family abuse and through all the things that's happened in America, people know that there's the devil. You don't have to convince them that there's demons and there's the devil. Most people are going to say, yeah, I've seen something happen. I've seen the supernatural. You just go and talk to anybody, and they'll say, I saw something I could not explain. So this movie is basically, the premise of this movie is if you believe in the devil, then you'll believe in God. Yeah. So should Christians watch this? I say no. First, the movie's deceitful. It puts a lot of junk in your mind that's just not true. And why did I watch it? I watched it because I'm not a prude. I'm not a cad. And I wasn't afraid. I did my research. There's this guy that does a Cap Alert Ministry, CAPALERT Ministry. It's capalert.com. And I read his reviews, and I do research. I don't just go put myself in the way. So I knew that this movie was going to be, but he said that, I trust his, he uses scripture, and he's very, very good at what he does. So is the Rite scary? To the believer, yes. To the unbeliever, this is a comedy. Because there's no way they're going to believe this schlock. They're just not going to believe it. It's absolute nonsense. God cannot, I don't know if God would even allow the devil to possess one of his own priests or his children. I'm sure this movie's not condoned by the Catholic Church. That is just an impossibility. Even Jesus himself said a house cannot be divided against itself. You cannot have Satan and the devil, or Satan and Jesus in the same heart or in the same soul. This is not possible. Can you be oppressed? Oh, yeah. Can you have experiences? I have, and I've seen it, and I'm not going to go into it in a movie review. But I will say that this movie basically, I would probably, for just being intrigued by it, I'd probably give it about a 5 out of 10. For the supernatural stuff and the faults and the lies and all that, that's where I take 5 away. It's going to scare believers who aren't very grounded in the Word, and it's going to make people who don't believe laugh. So should Christians watch horror movies? Well, the thing is the devil's very good at what he does. And demons are real. The Bible says the demons are real. Read Matthew chapter 8. Jesus cast these demons into these swine, and they jumped off a cliff, and they asked to be cast into the pigs. So Jesus says, yes, there's demons, and the disciples cast out demons. And so, yes, according to the Bible, demons are real. They're a reality. And they're innumerable, and they're here on this planet. And Satan is in charge of the culture of this world. God's in charge of the world. But that's why you walk into Hastings and you see all these nasty magazines, and you see all this nasty stuff, and these movies they're putting out. About 9 out of 10 of them are absolute garbage. So it's according to what you believe, but I will say Philippians 4:8 says that we're supposed to fill our mind with good things. And this is not worth a Christian's time. That's why I paid $1 for it. Now I'll go, throw it in the garbage or something. I paid $1, what I'd pay for an ice cream cone. And that's about what the movie's worth. It's about worth $1. It's not really good for Christians because it's going to scare the wits out of you. And you're going to believe that the devil has more power and demons have more power than they do. Jesus is more powerful than the devil. Yes, he's intelligent, he's powerful, but Jesus is more powerful. I'll just say that. It's going to give you the wrong idea about demonic activity. They don't work that way. I'm sorry, I've never seen it. I've been in the ministry my entire life, and I've never seen it. If anyone's seen it, I'd sure like to know if you've ever seen something like that, where faces are contorted and bodies are contorted, and it's just a gross out fest. Anyway, slasher movies, I hate them. And we'll talk about them at another time. But anyway, the Rite, 5 out of 10, skip it. Not worth your time. And Christians watching R-rated movies, yeah, don't fill your mind with this schlock. Thanks for listening. Bye.